আজকের আলোচ্য বিষয় হলো ক্লাসিফিকেশন থিওরি পেপারে মডার্ন ট্রেন্ডস BSO and role of CRG. Now what is BSO? BSO stands for the term broad system of ordering, and it is also termed as SRC, that is subject field reference code. It is a classification system basically which was developed within the UNICEST program for the purpose of interconnection of information systems. It is a disciplinary organized system founded in 1972 as a UNESCO project in the UNICEST program World Science Information System in cooperation with FID. FID means International Federation of Documentation. The idea behind BSO is related to the idea of networks and probably represents the latest attempt to create a new universal classification. It is developed by the Englishman Eric Coates in cooperation with others, including the Bliss Classification Association. BSO was meant to be an international switching language, an overall information retrieval language to transfer blocks of information in course subject groups between information systems applying different indexing languages. Now, Coates in 1979 stated that theoretically the switching operation requires nothing more than a neutral code system in which concepts are represented. Dalberg in 1978 regards it as a positive step towards standardization, a standard classification assets library rationalization, and national and international cooperation on statistics research and cataloging. As referred in the entry on switching language, has critical biases been raised towards the theoretical assumptions behind such systems. BSO did not develop to fulfill the wishes behind its construction. This may have a connection to such inherent problematic assumptions in the concept of switching languages. Now, this is the BSO, the actual PDF document, and you will see, if you see this, you will see how the different facets of universe of subjects are organized here. This is the starting point. Outline of main subjects for the BSO, broad system of ordering, and the general structure of sciences are given in this list, and all facets of different broad disciplines like chemical science, earth science, space science, physical science, mathematical science are highlighted here along with some interrelations among them. Actually, BSO is the first which highlighted the interrelationship among different facets in different disciplines in a very picturesque way. বিভিন্ন ফ্যাসেটের মধ্যে যে রিলেশনশিপ সেটা BSO ফার্স্ট হাইলাইট করেছিল, যেটা হচ্ছে আজকের দিনে যে আমরা অন্টোলজি বা সিমেন্টিক ওয়েব এই যে রিলেশন বেসড ক্লাসিফিকেশন নিয়ে যে আমরা কথা বলছি, which is the modern trend, এর যে ফার্স্ট অ্যান্ড ফরমোস্ট টিউন was noticed in design of BSO. Now, role of CRG. CRG stands for Classification Research Group. Now, Classification Research Group is a group of working librarians and others interested in classification research in London. When Ramanathan's ideas of faceted classification began to make an impression in the Western world, the Royal Society Scientific Information Conference was held in London in 1948, where classification as a method of subject organization was discussed as one of the themes. Now, dissatisfied by the prevailing methods of subject organization, A committee with J.D. Burnham as secretary was set up to examine the existing systems and suggested possible improvements. No progress was, however, made until 1951 when B.C. Vickery was invited to form a group to take over the work of the committee. This heralded the formation of CRG in 1952. তাহলে B.C. Vickery ছিলেন the principal brain behind the formation of Classification Research Group in London in 1952. The group consists of people who are keenly interested in classification research. A perusal of the reports or bulletins produced by the CRG indicates that the group has been actively involved in the creation of several classification schemes for such organizations. The theoretical work of the group has involved the study of facet analysis, relational operators, and the theory of integrated levels. The efforts of the group are directed in two directions. What are those? First, the classification and data mining. The classification effort focuses on both methodological research and particularly novel, non-standard application. The work in classification has significant overlap with other areas, including machine learning and pattern recognition, so that the publications appear in a wide literature. The data mining effort has become focused primarily on the emergent areas of pattern discovery and detection and streaming data analysis. Now, CRG made a major contribution towards the new general classification scheme, which was expected to have quite different problems than the special schemes. Each specific subject, in addition to a few core subjects, has some fringe subjects also, which can be treated without any due seriousness in a special scheme, where they are supposed to be less important to the subject experts than the core subjects. In a general scheme, all subjects have equal weightage and should be treated accordingly. It was thought that CRG should now turn his attention to the more difficult matter of a new general scheme. অর্থাৎ জেনারেল স্কিমে সমস্ত সাবজেক্টকে অর্থাৎ ব্রড ডিসিপ্লিনকে ইকুয়াল এমফাসিস দেওয়া হয়ে থাকে, বাট সিআরজির অবজেক্টিভ ছিল স্পেশাল স্কিমস. স্পেশাল স্কিমস আর meant for depth classification, that is domain specific or subject specific classification. Now, so you have seen that the first CRG was formed by B.C. Vickery in 1952 in London. The next remarkable approach was made by the father of library science of India, Dr. S.R. Ramanathan. He formed another classification research group in Documentation Research and Training Center under ISI in Bangalore, India. So, now we will discuss Ramanathan School of Classification Research in DRTC, Bangalore. S.R. Ramanathan, আমরা সবাই জানি Ramanathan সম্বন্ধে কম বেশি. He is known as the father of library science in India, and also he is father of facet analytical approach. He developed an integrated theory of library classification, which is the first non-dynamic theory of knowledge classification. He designed column classification scheme through polychotomic division of the universe of knowledge, and he was the founder of DRTC, that is Documentation Research and Training Center in Indian Statistical Institute, Bangalore. Now, Ramanathan continued the logical approach and worked from the rationalist idea that he could. What was that idea? To discover the very nature and order of things, and order based on principles which are eternal, unchanging, and all-encompassing. There is virtually no area of Ramanathan's work and personal life in which this quest for discovering the inner or essential order behind the visible world is absent. This remark was made by Francis Mixa in 1998. Now, universe of subjects. Ramanathan coined the phrase universe of subjects, we know, and defined various modes of formation of subjects. Later on, Gopinath and Sitharama modified Ramanathan's concept. Recently, D.K. Sen also added some new modes of subject formation. Now, subject is defined this prolegomena like this. It is an organized or systematized body of ideas whose extension and intention are likely to fall coherently within the field of interest and comfortably within the intellectual competence and the field of inevitable specialization of a normal person. Another definition was given by M.A. Gopinath, that is, a subject is an organized and systematized body of ideas. It may consist of one idea or a combination of several. Now, Ramanathan introduced, the phrase continuous infinite universe to clear the concept of subject in a logically holistic way. Ramanathan introduced dynamic theory of knowledge classification by bringing analogy between subject, its different facets and isolates, and the number system of mathematics. Ramanathan প্রথম যিনি নাম্বার সিস্টেমের সাথে সাবজেক্ট সিস্টেম, ইউনিভার্স অফ সাবজেক্ট বা নলেজ সিস্টেমকে মিলিয়ে দিয়েছিলেন। এবং রামনাথনের অ্যাপ্রোচটা ছিল অত্যন্ত একটা রেশনাল, একটা লজিক্যাল, হোলিস্টিক অ্যাপ্রোচ। রামনাথনের আগে যত ক্লাসিফিকেশনিস্ট তোমরা দেখেছো, প্রত্যেকে একটা এম্পিরিক্যাল ওয়েতে একটা সাবজেক্ট ক্লাসিফিকেশন স্কিম ডেভেলপ করেছিলেন, স্টার্টিং ফ্রম মেলভিল ডিউই, সি.এ. কার্টার, ইউডিসি স্কিম, জে.ডি. ব্রাউন, এইচ.ই. ব্লিস সবাই। কিন্তু রামনাথন ডায়নামিক থিওরি ডেভেলপ করেছিলেন। ডায়নামিক থিওরি কেন? বিকজ রামনাথন সাবজেক্ট এবং এই ডিফারেন্ট ফ্যাসেট আর আইসোলেটের সাথে ম্যাথমেটিক্স আর নাম্বার সিস্টেমকে ইউনিফাই করেছিলেন। Now, number system is a ever-growing and a continuous unending entity. Therefore, সেই নাম্বার সিস্টেমের সাথে যেহেতু অ্যানালজি ড্র করা হয়েছে, সেই জন্য রামনাথনের থিওরি অফ নলেজ ক্লাসিফিকেশন is the dynamic theory. It is known as the dynamic theory of knowledge classification. Ramanathan CRG introduced knowledge classification in a more logical and fundamental way than CRG UK that followed rather empirical ways. Now, we will discuss modern trends of knowledge classification. Modern trend, লাইব্রেরি ক্লাসিফিকেশনের আধুনিক প্রবণতা কিরকম, এখন কোন দিকে যাচ্ছে? ফার্স্ট, তোমরা জানো ট্র্যাডিশনাল ক্লাসিফিকেশন থেকে আমরা যেটা দেখেছি যে ট্র্যাডিশনালি ক্লাসিফিকেশন প্রথম শুরু হয়েছিল এনিউমারেটিভ ক্লাসিফিকেশন থেকে। তারপরে আমরা ইউডিসি দেখেছি, ডেভেলপড বাই পল অটলেট এন্ড হেনরি লাফোতে। Those were almost faceted scheme. W.B.C. Sayers, he was the first to develop the canons of classification and he is known as the grammarian of library classification. এবং সায়ার্সের থেকে ইনফ্লুয়েন্স হয়ে রামনাথন তার ডায়নামিক থিওরি এবং ফ্যাসেট অ্যানালিটিক্যাল অ্যাপ্রোচ স্টার্ট করেছেন। মডার্ন ট্রেন্ড হচ্ছে মডার্ন ট্রেন্ড অফ ক্লাসিফিকেশনে সবচেয়ে যেটা জোর দেওয়া হয় সেটা হচ্ছে কি রিলেশনশিপ between different facets, different subject and contextual analysis of a subject and facet. Contextual analysis means প্রাসঙ্গিকতা, অর্থাৎ একটা ফ্যাসেট বিভিন্ন সাবজেক্টের প্রসঙ্গে ইউজ হতে পারে। কোন কোন সাবজেক্টের কনটেক্সটে সেটা ইউজটা রেলেভেন্ট, দ্যাট ইজ কনটেক্সট অ্যানালিসিস। আর রিলেশনশিপ অর্থাৎ হাউ ডিফারেন্ট ফ্যাসেটস, different isolates are related to each other. এবং traditional classification scheme, যে the emphasis was on standard subject terms, but modern trends is just reverse. No standard terms are introduced. Modern trends is based on folk terms, that is terms introduced by users or common people. Therefore, now we will discuss folksonomies and social tagging. Folksonomy, it is actually coupling of two words, folk plus taxonomy and tagging. Now, let us understand what are tags. It is very important concept in the context of modern trend of knowledge classification. First, what are tags? Keywords or terms associated with or assigned to a piece of information that are called tags. So basically tags are nothing but keywords. Now they enable keyword-based classification and search of information. So you see, this is the basic model for tagging system. One user is there, resources are there, and user assigns a tag against any knowledge resource. User ঠিক করছে একটা knowledge resource কে সে কি নামে ডাকবে, কিন্তু ট্র্যাডিশনাল স্কিমে কি হতো, কোন একটা স্ট্যান্ডার্ড অথরাইজড বডি ঠিক করে দিত একটা রিসোর্স কে কি নামে ডাকা হবে। বাট মডার্ন ট্রেন্ড বলছে না, let user decide his own term. Why we will impose our terms upon users? This is the basic difference. You see, this is the tag cloud. যে কোনো ব্লগ বা উইকি নেটে এরকম যে কোনো সাইটে আমরা এটা দেখেছি, এটাকে বলা হয় ট্যাগ ক্লাউড। এই যে তোমরা দেখছো ডিফারেন্ট ক্লাউডে, কোনোটা বোল্ড, কোনোটা খুব স্মল। Bold means the boldness or size indicates the frequency of usage of the tag. Bold মানে তার frequency খুব হাই, অনেকবার সেটা ইউজ হয়েছে, অনেক পপুলার tag. These are the some examples of tag clouds. You can find various tag clouds in library thing. It is very famous websites for librarians. Now, important thing is that don't confuse tags with keywords or full text searching. Now see, tags are basically keywords, but that doesn't mean both are same. Why? See, keywords are behind the scenes. Tags are often visibly aggregated for use and browsing. Keywords cannot be hyperlinked. Keywords imply searching. Tags imply linking. This is very important point. Full text searching is passive. Tagging is active. It is more about connecting items rather than categorizing them. অর্থাৎ ট্যাগের ফার্স্ট এমফাসিসটা হচ্ছে how to link different objects. Now, tags কি হতে পারে? Tags can be descriptions of the subject matter, where the item is located, the intended use of the item, individual. Suppose against any book, some people have tagged gift from mom because he or she received that particular item as a gift from his mother. So he tagged like this. This is a personal tag, not universal. Now, different people have different tagging patterns. Therefore, tagging system encourages differences. That is the basic beauty of tagging system. It firmly discourages any sort of standardization, but it encourages differences. Tags are non-hierarchical. Non-hierarchical hobe ki kore? It is relational just. Linking করছে, non-hierarchical হতেই হবে। A way to create links between items by the creation of sets of objects, a means of connecting with others interested in the same things. Now, tagging systems define who can tag, what can be tagged, what kinds of tags can be used. Now, tagging system may result in the creation of a folksonomy. Folksonomy means folk, means common people, public, plus taxonomy. Taxonomy means science of classification. So, classification when made by common people or common public, that is folk taxonomy or folksonomy. Now, types of tagging systems. First, managing personal information, then social bookmarking, then collecting and sharing digital objects, and improving the e-commerce experience. Why is tagging so popular? Because it is easy and enjoyable, it has a low cognitive cost, it is quick to do, and it provides self and social feedback immediately. Now, putting the social in tagging, social tag. Let us now discuss about social tag. Tags allow for social interaction because when we navigate by tags, we are directly connecting with others. Now, people tag for their own benefit, for their own retrieval, for retrieval of their own piece of information. Now, tags and therefore social tags are dynamic categorization systems, often created on the fly, chosen as relevant to the user, not to the printer, cataloger or researcher, just common user, not scholarly user. Both can use tags. Even scholarly users sometimes may take the role of common user. You know. Now a social activity, more on this later, and hopefully one small step toward a more interactive and responsive library system.